Hi, this is Dolly Weber, and welcome back to Strangers in the Oil. Today I'd like to talk about the topic of manufacturer requirements and manufacturer's warranties. A few years ago, I worked for an audio-video lighting integrator in Springfield, Missouri, and there I enjoyed working in various departments. Initially, I was their purchasing agent and manager of purchasing and also oversaw the inventory. And later, I actually got into sales and some of the installations. However, due to the growing issue of product failure, the owner of the company asked me if I would head up their customer service department. So it was there that I witnessed the various policies of manufacturers, the various promises they made for their equipment, and the stringent requirements that they laid out for any customer who wished to make good on those promises. Some of the higher priced equipment came with a lifetime warranty, but most came with 10-year, 5-year, 2-year, 3-year, and even 1-year promise to assure the customer that they would have what they had paid for to function as good as new for that given length of time. When one of our customers did have a problem, they would contact me, and then I would gather the details of the product that they had, when they bought it from us, and what the product was now doing by malfunctioning. Once I had that information, I would look up the warranty information for the product, and if the product was still covered under warranty, I would contact the manufacturer with that information and include the serial number, of course, as well. Some manufacturers would then issue a shipping label with which to send the product to the manufacturer at the manufacturer's expense. They were the really good ones. But the products were shipped to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer would do the repair. In the electronics industry, that goes without saying. In a few cases, the manufacturer designates authorized repair centers throughout the country, and the product would be sent there for repair under the warranty authorization from the manufacturer. In no cases, however, would the manufacturer tell us, the dealer, or tell the customer to just find anyone they could to work on the product and then send the manufacturer the bill. In fact, most warranties stated specifically that no one was to even remove a screw from the defective equipment, or the warranty would become null and void. Most consumers today respect the workmanship found in Apple products. How many would take one of their products apart to fix it themselves and then send Apple the bill afterwards? How many would take their product to anyone other than an officially Apple-trained technician to work on it, and then tell Apple they were responsible for the results? People today have too much respect for those manufacturers to assume they can take matters into their own hands and still enjoy the warranty. The warranty provider has a legal right to stipulate requirements under which they will honor the warranty or not. Does this seem reasonable to us? Have you ever heard anyone complain about this right? With respect to the manufacturer and to the quality they represent, consumers today usually don't question that right, nor should they question that right. Well, the God of the Bible has always taken care of his children. When the children of Israel crossed the desert for 40 years, the Lord protected every single one of them, millions of them, from disease. When they rebelled against God and against Moses, poisonous snakes were sent to them and killed many of them. But that clearly came from rebellion and was not disease. Not one person for 40 years ever got sick. The Lord often referred to disease which he sent against Egypt, but not against his faithful ones. In Deuteronomy 7:15 we read, "The Lord will keep you free from every disease. He will not inflict on you the horrible diseases you knew in Egypt, but he will inflict them on all who hate you." Disease was and is intended by the Lord for those who do not love him, for those who ignore his clear commands and instructions, and for those who hate his children. So first of all, the Lord promises health for those who obey the Lord and follow his commands and instructions. He has given a lifetime warranty for health, but with limitations and conditions placed on that warranty. Exodus 15:26 says, "If you listen carefully to the Lord your God and do what is right in his eyes, if you pay attention to his commands and keep all his decrees, I will not bring on you any of the diseases I brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." So comparing that promise with many other manufacturers' warranties I worked with, I would describe that promise as a limited lifetime warranty. It states the intention of our Maker and Savior to keep us healthy and free from disease, while placing clear conditions on that promise, stating that we must pay attention to his commands and keep all his decrees. I'll repeat that. It places conditions on that promise, stating that we must pay attention to his commands and keep all his decrees. So, fair enough? Is this unreasonable? Do we insist on squeezing this God into our own sleazy mold, thinking we've slipped something by him? Most manufacturer warranties have clear instructions on how to use and care for the product. Is it not fair for them to insist that the customer read and follow those instructions in order to enjoy their warranty? Of course. The God of the Bible is a holy, holy, holy God, a thrice holy God. He not only instructs us, but observes us, now even in our hearts, to examine whether or not we pay attention to his commands and keep all his decrees. If we stray from his commands or his methods, he is not obligated to live up to that warranty, nor will he live up to that warranty of protecting us from disease. Taking this a step further, the Lord held the Ark of the Covenant with extremely high significance. He said about that ark, "There I will meet with you. On the Ark of the Testimony, I will speak with you." We find that in Exodus 25:22. Now the ark contained the 2 tablets upon which the Lord wrote the 10 commandments. The Lord had extremely strict and holy rules concerning who would handle that ark and how. One man was struck dead for his well-meaning but improper handling of that ark. Yes, he reached for it as it appeared that it was going to fall over, but he was not supposed to do so, and in fact was struck dead for doing so. Today, we, the bride of Jesus, contain the new law on our hearts. The Lord views our hearts and the bodies they reside in with the same absolute holiness. Why would it matter any less to him who and how handles our bodies? If a well-meaning Jew was struck dead for mishandling the ark, how much more accountable are we today for mishandling our bodies, the holy temple, for the new residence of his law, our hearts? Our bodies containing the law on our hearts are to be handled only by the blood of Jesus, or those strong in faith whom he uses to pray over us and anoint us with oil. That is the only way we are to handle the state of our bodies. That is his command and comprises his decrees concerning our health and our bodies. Paul even warned against laying hands suddenly without discernment on an individual, lest we make ourselves unclean through a spirit we unknowingly bring upon ourselves through that touching. How much more is the Lord jealous over who takes care of his precious ones and how, and whether or not they touch them? He sent his son Jesus to die and bleed over every instance of sin, every instance of sickness. And then Jesus declared that the matter was finished, resolved, forever dealt with, and solved. But this limited lifetime warranty requires a life wholly before the Lord and following his provision for his warranty and going nowhere else. If we comply with the Lord's requirements of us, then he promised that he would not allow disease to come upon us, leave alone to bring death to us. So in this way, the God of the Bible has promised protection, both those in the Old Testament and now those in the New Testament, against specifically disease. At the same time, the death of a saint is precious in the eyes of the Lord, as we read in Psalm 116:15, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints." Paul stated that it was better for him to be absent in the body and be present with the Lord than to continue to occupy the body of flesh in which he dwelt. In the book of Hebrews, we read of many who have been martyred for their faith, and today hundreds, if not thousands, of true believers have followed in their footsteps, and many more will follow in their footsteps. The Lord never promised us a lifetime warranty against death, but he did give us a limited lifetime warranty against disease. Surely the indignation of the Lord is great as he watches his children thumb their noses at his promise and the unspeakable agony of a bloody death as they ignore his simple instructions for a sure protection from a successful weapon of disease, while they run to their doctor, follow his instructions, and proclaim that doctor's promises. You know, recently the red heifer was born, and I caught that in a news article. And along with the article and the news that it was born, I saw where they were talking about the Jews now being so excited because now finally their sins can be atoned for. Picturing, of course, the reason for that, this animal. And you know what hit me at that point was the agonizing hurt and anger that the Lord must feel, having already provided through his agonizing death the perfect remedy for sins, for everyone's sins, including those very individuals now that are so excited about this red heifer. What in the world must he be feeling? I don't think a human being could even survive the kind of hurt that Jesus feels for that. And similarly, I can hear in my spirit a cry, perhaps similar to the one he gave as he breathed his last breath on the cross, agonizing hurt of indescribable depth and intensity, saying, "Are you kidding me? After all I did for you, and you are going to them instead? Forget the fact that I wanted to see my bride emulating me, doing the same things I did, preaching about the kingdom of heaven while offering in the same breath healing to those who needed it and asked me for it. What are you guys doing? Who has bewitched you? You ignore my requirements and then complain to the world that I didn't come through for you? Depart from me, you evil doers." Without a doubt, the use of medical doctors falls into the category of strong delusion. Strong delusion. Full of its magic, sorcery, idolatry, and clearly setting itself up in the temple of the Lord, in the temple of his children, in their hearts. Truly, the man of perdition has already been at work, Satan himself, complete with powers, signs, and lying wonders. Are you willing to stay in this strong delusion? If you are utilizing the medical doctors of this world, you are not following the lifetime warranty requirements for protection against disease. Do as you wish, but don't blame the God of the Bible for failing you, for not answering your prayers, or for providing a solution that was flawed. He has a right to require of us those things which he stipulates in his instruction manual, just as those manufacturers of the world do. Let's not mock him any longer. If you return to him, he will forgive and abundantly pardon. But he will not tolerate your changing his policies and then having the audacity to expect him to comply with you. I look forward to talking to you next time. God bless you.